Whatever we do on this side, you can do on the other side. And whatever the same steps we do on this side, they're gonna be applicable to the front doors. All right, so let's get started. Before we start, make sure to wash and clean your vehicle. Make sure you clay bar it. As we're lifting, we're gonna spray some slip solution so no dust can get stuck to it. All right, before we get started, make sure to lift and add slip solution underneath. You wanna make sure nothing's getting stuck, so when you're stretching and pulling, the adhesive doesn't break. All right, before we go ahead and start, we wanna align the door handle, make sure everything is even and spread out. We're gonna add some slip solution on top so we can squeegee out the rest of the water. So we can squeegee out the rest of the water. Make sure to lift and add slip solution underneath. You're stretching and pulling, the adhesive doesn't break. We just opened the door, so now we have access to this side of the door. Now all that's left is to tuck in all of this excess material. You could tuck in as much as possible and then just trim as needed, or you could just leave the excess material tucked in. Okay, and just like when you're tucking in, make sure you pull it and start spraying some Tacky Solution on it. This will remove all the soap that's underneath the PPF. Then get your towel, spray some Tacky Solution on it. And then you're just gonna, with your thumb, you're gonna go ahead and squeegee out most of the water out and try to tuck in the excess material. Alright, lastly, once you're done tucking in, if you so choose, you could trim up just a little bit of the excess, or you can leave it as is. It's really up to you. We do provide a blade just in case you want to trim. So if you do want to trim, I'll go ahead and teach you right now. Okay, so before you start trimming up, make sure everything is dry. You're going to extend the blade as much as possible, and you're going to focus on the middle of the blade and make sure that the blade is parallel or close to parallel to the actual bottom, to the actual body panel. The reason why you want to focus on this side is because you want to know where you're going to end up, and you already know that the blade is cutting, so you don't need to actually focus on the blade. Just focus on basically where my finger is at. And you don't need to cut all the way through it. Just make sure you're scorching the blade and putting a little bit of pressure. You're gonna feel when you go past the actual PPF, but for that reason, there's some samples that we're gonna provide so you're able to practice if you so choose to trim. Okay, and once you have your cut, just go ahead and separate the cut from the PPF. If it doesn't want to separate, just make a smaller cut right on top. I actually cut through. That way when you're pulling, the line that you made is now guiding this portion of the PPF that you want to remove. So as you can see, this top portion got cut very nicely, but this portion got stuck. So you want to go ahead and do the same thing. Lift it, pull it, and then just go along with the cut that you just made. That's how you trim PPF, okay? And if there's some parts that don't want to stay down, just don't get frustrated. You can always just move on to the next part and then just wait until the water just evaporates on its own, and then you're able to come back and make sure it stays down. The rest, that doesn't become an issue. Okay, and if you want to speed up the process, go ahead and grab your heat gun, and you're able to do the same process but quicker. Okay, and that concludes the installation process for the door PPF. Just remember the same thing that you're going to do on this side. It's the same thing as the passenger side, and the same steps. It's going to be the same thing for the front door. If there's any questions, just make sure to comment below. We'll answer them. And if you run into issues, again, comment below. And if you want us to do an installation video for the front doors, please just let us know and we'll gladly do it. With that being said, thank you for watching.